Hey ABC, Jeff here again. So today I went out and went to another record store that in town. I happened to be going that way, and I thought, well, let me stop in here and see what kind of scraps they got left over from record store day Friday. So here we are, 1, 2, 3, 4 days later, Tuesday. Yeah, 4, 5 if you count Friday and all the shopping that happened. So whatever, I go and see what they got. You know, this is one of the stores that I usually go to after the main one that I go to, mainly because I think it's a smaller type shop, and I think the clientele is a little different as far as age group and musical taste. And so, you know, sometimes, you know, last time I went, I found some good stuff, so I thought I'd check it out this time. So I went by there today, and oh, by the way, so in my previous video about my record store day and the whole lost keys thing, somebody had asked, and I realized I never did tell the rest of that story, but yes, I did find my keys later that night. I had tore this whole house apart, or so I thought. My wife went behind me looking in a lot of the same places, but she ended up looking, of course, in the one place where they actually were. So the video I made before, I believe it was the one before record store day, was the one where I found some, you know, just some used stuff in my little mini vacation is what I think I called it, where I'd found like 6 records at 2 different stores. And so what had happened was Thursday night, I believe, was the night that I sat down here and cleaned all of those records. And I have like a little do-it-yourself kit with just, you know, spray bottles and paint scrubbers and edgers and all that stuff. And it's in a box. And because we had rearranged everything to accommodate, this actually would have been Wednesday because it was before Thanksgiving, to accommodate the fact that we had bought it written right for the Christmas tree and moved where I usually put my keys. The keys had come over here by my desk here. And I guess at some point while I'm cleaning my records, my key bag had fallen into the box where the extra supplies are. And so then when I got done cleaning the records, I moved the box, I washed the towels and the rags and all that I used for my cleaning, washed them, and then threw them back in the box on top of my keys. My wife happened to just go over there and picked up the wad of towels off of it, and boom, she saw it. So yes, I found my keys Thursday night, I guess. Friday night, later that night we found them. So yeah, anyway, I'm not locked out of my car anymore. The bad thing is we only have 1 key fob from my car. We have 2 for her car. And so if I lose mine, we're kind of up a creek because it takes a lot of money to get a new key fob made from scratch, they say. Long story. Sorry about that. So went by the store. Was surprised. So I went by there because I was planning on, I did still kind of have in the back of my mind that I wanted to get the Motorhead. One of you commented on the video saying, yeah, that you had gotten it. It sounded really good. So I started regretting the fact that I didn't pick it up. So I went by there and I wanted to grab that. And the reason I passed on it at the other store was just, it was kind of a little costly after I had bought the other things. But I went ahead and picked it up. It was actually a little more than $4 cheaper than the store that I went to. So I was like, okay, that's cool. That's even more incentive to go ahead and pick it up. This is live in Madrid. It says Motorhead The Lost Tapes. On the side it says Volume 1. So record store day next time, maybe be Volume 2. Double record set on kind of a translucent red. You know, it's a gatefold. It's got some photos and stuff on the inside. Get the second album out of there. It's really kind of a nice package tape. This is from the Sacrifice Tour 1995, live in Madrid, June 1995. Got a lot of the classics there. I'll say one thing. 95, of course, you know, later on, Lemmy is sounding rough and gruff. And the tape, the recording is a little raw, which is how you would want this kind of music. So, but yeah, it was, you know, it's got, obviously, it must be like a soundboard recording or something. It's not like they're just burning somebody in the audience doing a bootleg. So yeah, this is good. Now, funny thing, I have a lot of Motorhead digitally. But I realize I don't own a single Motorhead album, studio album, but all the Motorhead that I now have in my collection on vinyl is all record store day stuff. Because almost every record store day now for the past like year or two, they put out something. It was a picture disc single. It was the No Remorse, release, this release, and the picture disc Christmas thing and the picture disc with the girls' school. Anyway, I just realized that my entire Motorhead collection right now is not any of their studio albums that have been regularly released, but they're all record store day reissues, releases. So, and then I was surprised to find 3 copies of the Mr. Big at the store still. And as I'm flipping through, the guy comes over and says, "Yeah, that's all the stuff left over from record store day." Well, yeah, I know, that's why it says that here on the thing. But I said, he said, "I'm surprised we got some of the stuff we had." He was talking Little Feat. He was talking, what was the band? Some other band that I'd never even heard of. He said, "Yeah, I'm surprised I got so many of those." I'm like, "I'm surprised you got 3 Mr. Bigs." He said, "Yeah, that's an odd one too." I said, "I'm assuming I'm going to keep flipping. I'm not going to find a Saigon Kick." He said, "No, those all were gone." So I did not find that. But yeah, I did find this. This is a reissue of their second album, I believe. And as I mentioned in my last video, it's on a solid red. This is actually a band that, you know the hits. I never really got into, never bought any. This is my first actual anything owned by them. Nothing digitally, nothing. Well, maybe I have some digital stuff of their first album. But anyway, I knew that I was going to like it because I knew their hits and I knew some of their stuff that I have heard over the years. So I went ahead and, went to grab this. And now I got to, of course, find the other album and the other albums. But yeah, I actually just gave this a spin, and it's good stuff. Typical, that typical AOR type hair, hard rocking stuff that was going on at that time frame. Billy Sheehan on bass and everything. It's just Eric Martin, Paul Gilbert. It's just a solid band, Great stuff. Really enjoyed it. So those were the 2 main things. They had, a lot of other stuff, but nothing really. They had some King's X that left over and things along that line. Nothing else that really jumped out at me. So then I'm over looking through the regular new albums, because really I was looking to see if maybe there was a Saigon Kick over there, because even though they probably did sell them, a lot of times some of that stuff ends up in the outside of the record store day section and over in the regular section for some reason. Like, for instance, in the record store day section, there were no Best of Judas Priest, but there were copies of that in the regular section. So I'm flipping, get some time to kill. My wife would drop me off. Ran across this Crocus. This is the Hoodoo album from a handful of years ago, and I get, this is a music on vinyl release, and from what I can see, I guess it just came out this year, 2021 release. It might have been released on vinyl at some other point earlier. I remember having it on my wish list, but never did get it. And so I thought, it's on a gold and black. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and grab it. I looked at it online, and, it is available on Amazon, but it's from third-party dealers right now, maybe because it's an import. But I got number 999. This is, of course, one of their later albums, 2010. So even though it's a later album, it's still 11 years old, where they went like really bluesy. So it's a lot more, I don't know, to me it's a little more slowed down and bluesy. It's really a great album. This and the Dynamite, the one with the dog on it, I really enjoyed. And it's, it's a change from their earlier days when they were a little more faster. They still it still has that AC/DC vibe that people always compare them with. It's just in this case, it's a little more bluesier and dirtier, and it's good stuff though. So I went ahead and grabbed that. Now, this is a store where I check out. There's one of the guys that works there, and it depends on, I don't know, it's just random. I go up there with those 3 albums. We're talking a good chunk of change there. He's like, "Go over there and grab yourself. Just go grab yourself a used album." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure." I ran back to the back because I had looked when I got there through the new used records. So they got section where they put in the new stuff from the past like 6 weeks, and then it eventually rotates into the floor. So I was going there and looked through that. And actually I found like 3 Jean-Luc Ponty albums. Actually it was about 5. One of which I had, one of which is I thought I bought but ended up having the other one in it. There was 5 or 6, but there was 2 or 3. I know Ron had shown them, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go get that. I'm going to go grab me, a jazz album, because that was about all I saw in that section that really struck me as being, wanting to get. But I said, oh, I'm not going to buy it because I'm buying these other ones. Ran back there and I grabbed one. I'm in a hurry. My wife's out front now. She's waiting for me. I grabbed the record. As I'm headed back to the front of the store, I glance over in this section over here, and I'm like, I should grab that. So I grabbed the Louisiana LaRue. Now, I grabbed this because I had picked up one of their other albums in, you know, a thrift store for like $1, you know, I don't know, less than a year ago, and have really enjoyed it. Just really enjoyed it. I knew a little bit about this band since the 80s, but never had listened to them. And they were just, it was like a AOR-ish hard rock, typical stuff you'd find in the 80s, the Journey type stuff, but a little more edge, Foreigner, edgier, you know, just really good, solid stuff. And I thought, okay, I need to add some more. And I keep seeing this album, Keep the Fire Burning. I see this album everywhere, and I just never have bought it. And so I thought, I'm going to grab it. I hope it's in good condition because I don't got time to look at it. When I got in the car and started looking at it, the record was out of the sleeve, on the inner sleeve. I'm like, oh, that's not a good sign. But when I pulled it out, it was shiny, and it was really nice. Got the old purple Capitol label there. So, haven't given it a spin yet, but I really enjoyed their other album, and I'm sure this is going to be along the same line. So, yes, grab that one for free. They do that occasionally at that store, and it's great. They have tons of stuff, tons of used albums. That's all, though. That was, you know, that was my fun little day today. You know, figured that's cool. It'd be nice if I could grab that Saigon Kick at some point. That was the only other one that I kind of was tempted to get that they didn't have. So, anyway, thanks for watching again. I will be back. I will see you later. Rock on and rock hard.